We head to the Western Cape in the aftermath of heavy rain and damaging winds in the Western Cape. A dire situation has unfolded, resulting in the displacement of hundreds of people. Let's talk now to our reporter Mariska Botha for further updates on this situation. Mariska, there's so much to discuss. I think can we first start with a little bit with just what last night was like? I know that Sunday night was incredibly difficult. I mean, just what has that storm really felt like since we last spoke?
You're absolutely right. As difficult as Sunday night was when the rain started coming, last night was even harder. There were many people that were trapped that simply could not get to their places of residence, that were stuck on highways and roads that were closed because of roads being washed away, or there were still high water levels, or there were rock falls all over the place. So the entire province, in each of the areas, there was some sort of difficulty to overcome. We speak now to the municipal manager of the Theewaterskloof Municipality, which includes the towns of Grabouw and Bottreffier. As you might remember yesterday, the N2 at Bottreffier washed away completely. But to give us an overview of what the situation looks like today, because it's a bit easier to make proper assessments and so on, let's speak to Wilfred Solomons-Johannes. Wilfred, thank you very much for your time. You yourself are stuck in Cape Town at the moment because you cannot get there. What does the situation look like in your municipality?
So good afternoon. The situation has now calmed down. We had 2 days of intense rainfall, which has occurred, in particular concentrated around the areas of Grabouw, Caledon and Villiersdorp in itself. Many informal settlements were submerged by water because there's no runoff capacity. But the biggest challenge that we had is that roads have been washed away, and in particular the N2 National Road. It's the main corridor and feeder for traffic in and out of Cape Town, but also the connecting routes to Hermanus and neighbouring towns, Bredasdorp, Napier. Everybody was still stuck there. A lot of tourists and motorists were booked in guest houses, and the municipality has, as best as we can, tried to open roads late afternoon. We opened the N2 between Botriver direction Cape Town in Grabouw as a result of the congestion that we had been encountered, and also that we had major mudslides on Salaris Pass, and we also had a sinkhole that has happened, but we quickly responded with Sunral to repair this road. But the N2 remains closed. The water current is still very strong, so the engineering crews can't work there. The disaster response teams would at first, like this morning, already commence with accelerated recovery and mop-up operations that are currently underway, and they will work flat out and until we stabilize the situation, with a focus of opening the major arterial roads to get people out of the area that can't move.
And then, of course, unfortunately, there were deaths as well.
Unfortunately, 3 people lost their lives in the Theewaterskloof Municipality. 1 person in Villiersdorp and another person on the in Vryeboom on a farm that was close to a river that washed away. And sadly, at that breach that collapsed and it was washed away, a motor vehicle was swept away. Luckily, 1 person evacuated and the other person was swept away with a car and passed away. So sadly, those people has died. Otherwise, we were accommodating about 100 people in our community shelters in Grabouw and in Villiersdorp. Our ground teams are on the ground. Even yesterday, we attempted early morning to airlift the Defence Force helicopters, but the winds were too strong and they could not be deployed. So we were dependent on our ground crew operations and community organizations and our response teams in that particular area.
And then you also, we understand you managed to get aid organization Gift of the Givers. You assisted them, you escorted them to get through.
Yeah, as you know and seen from the footage, all the roads were washed away, most of them, and were flooded and inaccessible. Gift of the Givers, as always, very helpful, came out, and we escorted them from Salaris Pass into the towns of Grabouw, where after we further distributed the humanitarian relief aid in the area. So while this humanitarian relief aid is underway, we also had significant damages to our infrastructure in Caledon, Teslarsdal, where our water and sewage pipelines has washed away. We were disruptions, but our crews are on the ground, busy with repair works, and got emergency contractors on board. We convened our disaster team and emergency meetings yesterday morning, and we also invoked all our emergency procurement procedures as extraordinary measures to expedite our response and restoration to the damaged infrastructure.
As we speak now, how many people are still in distress, whether it be with a roof over their heads or something to eat, because we know in a lot of the areas the electricity was out, for example?
Yeah, so luckily not a lot of people were displaced. It's just in the Viliersdorp where we accommodate people in our resource centre and in Grabouw at our Tusong centre. They have all moved back this morning to their houses, and we are providing them with humanitarian relief aid. Eskom already when we got the weather forecast, Eskom already advised that people will expect disruptions, their power lines will be blown down, and we want to thank Eskom. They were excellent and tremendous support to our municipality. They were working right around the clock to restore electricity. They brought all the power back online that was disrupted earlier this morning. They brought the Viliersdorp power line from Worcester back online, and they're currently busy at the only area that is out is in Caledon at the Theewaterskloof farm on the N2. But the teams are working hard and to keep our electricity on and lights on to also assist us that we can provide continued water supply and continue running the services and to limit disruption to businesses in the area.
It might be a bit early, but do you have an idea of the estimate of the cost of the damages to your area?
Yeah, at this stage it's not clear about the estimated cost, but from our quick rapid assessment, our sewage pipeline that has been washed away on the N2 near Caledon, it's over 5 million rand, and Tesla's done about another 4 million. We've already informed our insurance to assess the damages and to assist us with the repair works while we can do intermediary repairs to keep service delivery happening. But at this stage, the weather is cleared up, so that will assist us to get us closer to our infrastructure and get our teams there to do an exact determination of the damages has been caused with cost.
And in the meantime, like for example, the sewage system is down. What happens in a situation like that?
Yeah, so what we have done, our engineering crews have done emergency repairs to it to limit the disruption as far as possible. We have contractors that are en route there that we're busy escorting there to get to the areas which has been cut off. And while the work is underway, we're doing our best to keep services running.
Thank you very, very much. That was Wilfred Solomons-Johannes, the municipal manager of the Theewaterskloof Municipality. As you heard there, in the Theewaterskloof area, the immense damages, but sadly, most of all, the 3 lives that were lost as a result of the flood waters. And Theewaterskloof is just one of the many municipalities across this province this morning that are doing exactly the same thing, doing assessment, see where they can help, see what infrastructure has been damaged, see what can be repaired. And remember, this heavy storm follows on a great flooding event several months ago where infrastructure was damaged as a result of that too. So there's a lot of work that lies ahead across the Western Cape in municipalities like Theewaterskloof and further afield, and also in the city of Cape Town.
Yeah, I know that we are expecting to see a press briefing by Premier Alan Winde today as well. But let's talk a little bit about what evacuations are actually looking like at this point. I mean, we're hearing about evacuations from so many different parts of the Western Cape. The list really goes on and on. Even reports of people being electrocuted during the storm. I mean, where are people being evacuated to? And, you know, is there a sense that there certainly are the resources to prepare for this?
Well, with something like this, everything and everybody that is in the disaster management area and field was placed on high alert. Of course, it was a level 9 weather warning that was called out before it happened. So all emergency services would have been on standby. We know of people that were rescued. We know of children that were rescued further afield from Cape Town. People were evacuated to higher grounds, to community halls, to church halls and the like. But we understand that the majority of the people that were given refuge in certain places usually opt to go back to their structures, especially in informal settlements. It's a very sad case, but it's true that people are afraid that when they leave their shacks, when they return, somebody else might have taken their spot. So oftentimes people do not opt to take the opportunity to go into community halls and the like, but it is happening across the province. Those people that simply do not have anywhere to go were taken to safer places. For example, in Solori's Pass, we know of several people that were housed in a local community hall, and we also know that children were rescued, and I'm not certain about it, but I think in areas further afield in the Southern Cape. And that's the other thing. People were asked to always keep their ear on the ground and listen to official lines of communication and not listen to fake news that's out there warning people of imminent danger of walls, dam walls bursting and the like. So they try to keep their finger on the ground and their fingers on the pulse as to where the crisis is urgent and where people needed to be taken away. But as the weather is clearing today, we will certainly see more and more people return to their places of residence to salvage what they can and see what the way is forward. We also heard from Gift of the Givers yesterday saying that they are helping wherever they can, but it will certainly take some time to get to everybody that is in need because of the issue of inaccessibility in a vast range of roads across the province.
Yeah.